ओके फाइन. सो कभी किया है आप लोगों ने आर पहले? हेलो. ओके इट्स म्यूट. ओके फाइन. सो आप लोगों ने कभी आर किया है क्या पहले? एनीवन एक्सपीरियंस्ड?
No, sir.
ओके फाइन. Okay, so let's get a brief description of R first. So our 4 day session we will be covering what is R, history of R, features, why do we need analytics, business analytics, data visualization, who are the people who uses R and why they use, installation of the R and R Studio. I hope you have installed it. R packages and libraries, data operators, variables, and more for data types, data frames, flow statements, visualization, file handling, working with files, and some about graphs. That's all. So we'll be dealing with this. So let's get what is R. Basically, R is a programming language and a software environment for statistical analysis. This is a basic generic description or definition, you can say, right? It's a programming language or a software environment for statistical analysis. You can say as graphics representation and for reporting. It's the most popular data analytics tool as it is open source, that is FLOSS, flexible, offers multiple packages, and has a huge community too. Right. So let's get a small introduction of the history of R. So R was created by Ross Hackasser and Robert Gentleman at the University of Auckland, that was in New Zealand, and is currently developed by the R core team. Fine. So it was first appeared in the 1993. A large group of individuals has contributed to the R by sending their bug reports, debugging what we use. Since mid 1997, there has been a code group who can modify the R source code and achieve, and that's all is a small introduction, right? Let's see the features of the R. So the features of the R is something like it has a well-developed, simple, and effective programming language, right? It includes conditions, loops, ever-defined recursive functions, and input-output facilities. Right? It has an effective data handling and storage facility. Meanwhile, and I think one student from here, who is DS Chakravarti, you are learning Python too, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, fine. So R provides you a suite of operators for calculations on arrays, lists. We'll be learning what are arrays, what are lists, vectors, matrices, right? R provides a large, coherent, and integrated collection of tools for data analysis too. And moreover, it is very much useful for the graphical facilities or the data analysis part, which we'll doing in Python also. But we'll see that R is better than for the data visualizations part. It's much better as compared to the Python. That's all. Now, let's get to see why we need analytics. We need analytics. We learn R for, as we saw the definition, R is a programming language as well as a statistical analysis environment or statistical analysis programming language, or you can say as a language for graphics representation as well. Right. So, why do we need analytics? Okay, let's understand with some common problems, then I will deal with it. So in banking, let's take a banking problem where we get a large amount of customer data generated every day in banks while dealing with millions of customers on regular basis. It has become so hard to track their mortgages. So there we need actually analytics. How do we analyze for the customers coming and sharing their money, right? So the solution is that R builds a custom model that maintains the loans provided to every individual customer, which help us to decide the amount to be paid by the customer over time. That's it. Another problem is for the insurance policy, right? Insurance extensively depends on forecasting. We have various factors right there. It is difficult to decide which policy to accept or reject. There we need to analyze on which factors is much more important for me and whether it is useful for me. And there we do a small bit of analysis right there. So by using the continuous credit report as input, we can create a model in R that will not only assess risk, appetite, but also will predict a forecast as well. Fine. Now coming up with the third problem, that is healthcare. Every year, millions of people are admitted in hospitals, and billions are spent annually just in the admission process. This is a very common problem there, and we have a solution there, that the given patient history, and by seeing his patient, or you can say that the seeing by the patient history or these medical reports, you can generally you can predict a model, or you can create a model that okay, this patient needs this is the securities and so on. That's hospitalizations. Okay, so let's get into the what is and why is analytics needed actually. So the most common answers we get from the environment is that we use analytics to make better decisions, right? I have seen such students responding that the most common answers, these were the most common answers, that the environment, or you can say that we get from the environment is that we use analytics. That's perfectly right, but analytics is not just used for making better decisions. They are making major things that analytics help us. There are major, you can say as major things, right? There are many major things right there. Analytics help us to achieve to mainly we'll be discussing today the needs for the analytics across the four major parts. These four parts you can see on the screen: cost reduction, better marketing and product analysis, organization analysis, and faster, better decision making. We'll be discussing on these four parts why we use data analysis. So the first point you can see is the cost reduction. Every day, or you can say is every company invests a huge amount with respect to different resources that they take, and it could be an investment or an another, you can say as investment on their itself company, or an investment on the another company. It could be the investment on the same company along with the employees. It could be with respect to certain marketing campaigns or research or anything they are running for. That's all, right? This could be their, you can say as purpose of sharing or contributing money to their companies. But the question is, how do they know which is going to the most successful, right? And which needs for the investment, and which needs much attention for the investment, and where to you can be sure that wherever you are investing your money, you will get benefit through that. Right? Through analytics, we can identify which section is actually performing well, right? Let's say you are investing 50 million on three companies. Yes, such, but not all the three companies achieve the same level of performance and give you the same reward with respect to that. So you would definitely be investing in the company that gives you much reward, right? By analyzing the performance of the company, that's what you will do. In daily life, what we need is that to analyze and reduce the cost expense that we take actually on a regular basis. So the next key point, we have discussed what is cost reduction. The next discuss point is better marketing and product analysis. What is better marketing? It's always important to understand how the present market is, right? And what is the public as well. Once you understand this, it's become easier for you to market your products, isn't it, right? It's very easy once you understand what is going around your environment. It becomes easy to launch your product, or you can say as make people agree for your product. That's all accordingly to the requirements of the user as well. You can say that okay, once you have analyzed, you can make sure that the people get impressed by you and so on. That's right. So these is all some better marketing you can say. So now, if you have your own good product, right? If you have your own good product, then everyone would definitely go for your product rather than only for the products and not for the much. You can say as you have a good product comparatively to a company which gives the same product but on high price. But your product is in low price and is comparatively is the, you can say as the same potential as compared to that product. So that is something for the better marketing. After doing all these analyzations, it's like a piece of cake for me to make a decision. If I get the okay, I have analyzed the cost reduction, I have better marketing and product analysis, it's like a very good for me to take better decisions. Finally comes the organization. So you can see that once I have made this cost reduction, I have overviewed this cost. Okay, there's once again, this mouse is not working. Fine. Okay, so you can see that once we have done cost reduction, better marketing, product analysis, and from that better marketing, I can make better decision and faster decision. And from these three categories, what I will do is the organization analysis. right? So now again, every company needs to understand where they are in current ways. To do that, one of the key factors is to help them how they are performing themselves. Organization analytics help them to analyze that how they are performing as an individual as well as an organizational support, right? So this was all about, we can discuss for the cost, better marketing, faster and organization. So what is business analytics? Before that, I will be dealing with the data analytics. So data analytics helps the organization, till now whatever we have, you can say, discussed. So data analysis helps the organization harness their data, and we use it to identify the new opportunities. With the four factors we discussed was the cost reduction, better marketing and product analysis, faster, better decision making, and organizational analysis. So let's deal with the business analytics. So we have understood what why we need it and why we need analytics. We have understood this. So then comes here what is business analytics. I call it as BA. So BA basically is the process of examining the large set of data that you have and achieving a hidden pattern, or you can say as a correlation in between, or in between that, or even a better insight, what we see, a key term called insight, as to what you need to do. It basically helps you to understand with all the data you have gathered. This could be your organizational data, you can say as market research, product research, anything, right? So let's sum up this. What is business analytics? So BA examines large and difficult or different types of data to uncover hidden patterns. That's simple. You take some data and make a correlation between them. That was it, business analytics. So in the image you can see it's a scattered mess, okay, right? You can see the data is a very scattered, then followed by the analysis, and then it's a very good looking decisions there. So the image you can see is a very scattered mess. You have to so you can say that you have got everything there, right? You have got everything what you want to the present in your data, but to find anything specific, uh, seeing in the data picture only, the above picture, once you see in the data image, it's a very problematic so you can say as a situation to classify or to cluster that what is what percentage what is having and what are the data. It's a very problematic situation to understand what is there, right? As comparatively to the analytics and compared to the decisions. So it becomes very problematic to be identify, or you can say for, it becomes very problematic to identify any specific problem from a given data or specific solution from a given data, and to understand how you are going to do is even bigger a mess, right? So the results you got by analyzing may not be always understand by the someone, because you can't give anyone to see that these are the data, these I have analyzed and this is my decisions. So it's not very easy for everyone to understand a raw data what you have taken and you have analyzed, because everyone is not a data analyst, right? So the results you will be getting may not be always understand by someone who is not from the analytical background, and their attacks maybe, and this attack can you can say as create a hindrance, as you can't expect the people in the chain, right? For, so to overcome this gap from the people, we have a concept of data visualization. We have a concept of data visualization. So what is data visualization then? Now DV, that is basically data visualization. I use shortcuts, right? So DV is basically a visual access to huge amount of data that you have generated after analysis. To you can say as it converts your data to a graphical form or data in easily digestible visuals which everyone can understand. Okay. So it's always easy to understand their pie chart, or you can say as a, we have a common experience, right? We understand images very nicely as compared to the numbers, or you can say as a compared to the figures or written things, right? And small बच्चे में भी आप पढ़ते होंगे तो आपको images से ज़्यादा समझ में आता होगा, right? Once again, fine. So it's always easy to understand the pie chart or the as compared to the raw numbers that you will be providing, and this is a common for everyone, right? So these there are some major tools actually in the market which will help you to come with all the data visualization as well as with the completion of the analysis. What are the tools? So some of the tools here are as Python is a programming language. It's also a tool. Tableau, QuickView, and R. We will learning R today. Power BI and Spark. I mean, there are some factors over there. So let's understand why R and with respect to other tools, why we use basically it in the market. So we'll be dealing with why R and who uses R. So as further we have seen that R is a programming language as well as a statistical language for data analysis and data visualization. It's very simple and easy to learn, read and write, and it's a, I have said flaws, that's nothing but free library and open source software where one can freely distribute copies of this software, right? You can easily download and you can create your own codes and then can modify and everything you can do that, right? So that's what R. So we have some domains of R, and you can say, let me tell you some more definitions, or you can for more some importance that R is both for the programming and a statistical language, or one of the simplest language to learn on, free and open source. That's all. Okay. So let's see the domains of the R. We have seen banking, pharma, education, telecommunication, retail, that is e-commerce, everything we use there, that is R. Nowadays we use everywhere, right? So guys, till now any confusions in R? Okay, let me see. Any confusions? Deepak, Lakshmi, Adarsh, Debayan, and who's there one more?
Sure.
Parth. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine, let's move ahead. So I hope you would all have downloaded or installed the R as well as the studio, right? It's very pretty simple process. Then you have to go to this link, basically randproject.org, install these R from here. You can take for the Mac, Linux, and Windows as well. We have taken all this, fine. So R Studio also you can go from the link I have given yesterday. I hope everyone have downloaded. Is it so? Everyone have?
Yes, sir.
Well, nice. That's good. Okay, so before launching the R, we'll see what it looks like. So R Studio something look like this. Okay, you have below the R console, there is a source window. We have to create this actually. It doesn't come from pre-default. Here we have packages and files, environment, whatever we will be creating here or here, it will be stored in the environment history. That's all. This is something about the, you can say as the overview of the R. So there are packages and libraries for the R. For any package, or you can say as packages are nothing but a group of functions bundled together. We'll create functions in R. We'll see that what are functions, and all that functions combined together are called as a package. These functions are pre-compiled and used in R scripts, right? So R is basically an interpreted programming language. So you guys have a basic knowledge, right? What is an interpreter and what are a compiler? That's very pretty simple difference around that. So we have discussed all the that's installing a package. We will have to write install dot package and then the parenthesis under the square brackets of package name. So we'll direct be doing with this also. Here we go and write for the package name. It's very simple. Instead of doing this, you can go and write your codes in the R console. That's it. So we're dealing with the data operators now. So there are mainly four type of operators in R. We will be seeing that we have the four operators that are, one second. So So that are mainly arithmetic operators, relational operators, assignment operators, logical operators, and many more are there. Fine. There are one special operator too. So let's see what operators these two actually. Let's move on. So arithmetic operators, these basically, as the name suggests, it's help you to perform the basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. This is very easy concepts. So before moving with that, I will be discussing about the, one second, let me see where my variable has gone. Okay, fine. First, we will be dealing with the variables. So what are variables? Where variables are nothing. Variables are nothing but a reserved memory location. One second, hold on. So let's see what are variables. Variables are nothing but a reserved memory location containing the values we do. It's very simple. We'll discuss what are variables actually. So you can say or you can define is, don't go with that definition, okay, right? Don't go with the bookish languages. It's basically nothing but some reserved memory locations to store some values. That's all. It means that whenever you go and create a variable, you reserve some space, reserve a space in your memory or a machine. Now there are actually three ways in which you can create a variable in R. Sorry guys, there are some network issues actually. So discuss about the variables. Let's move on. Let me go and create. Okay. So So this is basically the R console what I have seen you, right? So this is your environment. Here's a console. You will seeing that something is missing here. That was the script one, which will you can get from the R script. That's all. And this is your packages section. From here, I say that you can load any package. So let's say we go and install a package. We say it as ggplot2 and install it. It will seeing that install.packages and then the package name under the parenthesis, and it's going to install some of this. It's pretty basic. Okay, you can see the packages has been installed. So guys, variables have some validity and some reasons in R. Now, actually, what are the valid conditions or the valid statements you can? A variable can have letters, numbers, dot, and underscores. Okay, the variable can have, you can say, cannot have actually the characters starting with the percentage, or a variable cannot have characters percentage. Only dot and underscores are allowed in a variable there, right? Variable is not allowed, or any variable is not allowed starting with a number. Like you write, let me go with the console, clear my console. It's ctrl. You can use ctrl for clearing your console. So let's suppose I am writing variable there, variable, right? So you can't write for the two and then for variable, something where, right? This is the wrong process. You can't start with a number, or a variable can start with a dot. That's a valid. You can start with dot. Instead of writing this, you can start with dot var underscore of name. You can go with this. It should followed by a name, and that's all. Again, writing a dot, this is invalid again. Starting writing a dot and then writing two, that's an also a invalid state. So there are some categories there. Okay, so we'll go and we'll start. So let me clear this. Go and create a script over there, file. Enlarge it. Let's see whether it comes. Okay. Assignment using equal operators. So let's first create an basic variables. So let me say that if I write, let me write in the console, x is equals to 25. You can see the console. Is there any visibility problems? As you can say, any problem. Let me close the script and work in the console. X is equals to 25. As soon as I enter, I can see in the global environment, I can have X, which is numeric and occupying 56 bytes of space and is storing what? 25. Okay, everyone is there. So just like nomenclature in Python, yeah, fine. So let's move. Okay, so x is equals to 25. So very easy step. Okay, let's create another variable, and I can say y Hello students. Fine. Let me give an enter. I can say y is having what is a character occupying 120 bytes and is hello students right there. Okay. Now let's say I'm writing true and followed by storing in a z. I'm sorry, x is 25, y is 0 students, and I'm storing this in z. Okay, so z is having true. This is something how we make variables and how we store things. Okay, so let me create an assignment variable that is a assignment using equal operator. So var dot 1, I'll be dealing with what is c and all those. Let's say 0 comma 1 2 3. That's it. Where dot 1 I am storing 0 1 2 3. What is c I will be discussing about it. Any questions you can write in the chat box. Like, okay, where's this? Enter. Now we can see where 1 is having a number 1 to 4 and the numbers are 0 1 2 3. Now what is this? We'll dealing with this. Let's go and create a script and write there. That will give you a very easy, and I think I can make it zoom too. I hope so. No. Okay. Fine. So we'll have to deal with this. Any changes? No. Let me zoom this.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, installation కావట్లేదు సార్ నా దానికి.
Sorry.
Installation కావట్లేదు సార్.
Installation not happening.
Yes sir.
What is the problem there?
Don't know sir.
Okay. Just give me a snap on the WhatsApp. What's it showing?
Okay.
Okay, fine. I've created a variable 1. Let's create assignment. So, var dot anyone more having installation issues? Okay, someone gave me photo there. Okay, you can go. What are you having? Windows or Mac?
Windows sir.
So click on download R 4.0.2 for Windows.
Sir?
Click on the first link you are seeing there for 32/64-bit download R there. फर्स्ट लिंक दिख रहा है
Okay sir.
या फर्स्ट लिंक पे क्लिक करो assignment using first let me write this and I'll describe you rightward operator. Meanwhile, if someone is not having laptop, you can go and create on Kaggle. Any installation issues, so you can go and create on kaggle.com. That is much simpler. Print var, or let me say var dot one is, guys, you all have studied Python or directly
Yes,
learning
sir.
R?
No, sir.
How many are directly learning this R? Cool. So guys, see, we are having left operand, right operand, and equal to operand. This is equals to, from which, okay, why it's not zoom. Okay, no, that's something problem. Actually, it zooms. Okay, maybe plus operator option. Fine. So you can see this is equals to sign, and this is C. I will describe you what is this C is and what we are doing. First, see that we have used equals to, then a less than, and then hyphen, and then greater than sign. So this greater than sign is basically called as rightward operator or right operand, and leftward operator or left operand is on your side there. And in the console, you can see here I am doing in the console. Let me go and simply write that 2 plus 3, that's 5, right? Simple. 2 plus 3 is nothing but 5. uh, this is all will doing the common operations over that, and there will be seeing how to assign. In the assignment operator, we'll see that what are these operands basically. So this is a simple definition, a simple example of how you can create a variable. You have written some values and then stored in a variable, then you have again written some values stored in variable 2 using the left operand, and here you are using the right operand, and the simple the equal operators. So let me go and run this.
Sir,
Yep,
sir, why do you see there?
I'll describe why. If you see, once again, something is error there, error in the pair list where 3 not found. Fine, very good. Where dot 3 is not found. This is where dot 3. Okay, 1 dot 2 dot 3. Okay. Cat. Let hit run again. There is where 3 not found. Okay, let's do for this. Okay, we got where 3 as the assigned there, and where 3 is having 1, where 1 is having this. Print where 2. where to not found. All right, you have to save on this first. Okay, let me create it manually. So someone has asked what is C there, right? C is basically the cat function. The cat function is nothing but when you take one or multiple values, more than multiple one value, we use C there. For storing that something, I say that x is equals to 25, right? So I'll get it created, I run this and I'll see that x is equals to 25. Now if I want that y is equals to 25 as well as 30, I want to store y is equals to 25 as well as 30. I go and run there. I can see that y is having an unexpected error. This comma. What is this? Why we are having? We can't store like something like this. If I use C here, I go and run it. I can see that now what it has basically concatenated. No, what is concatenated is something with combining values. So it has combined 25 and 30 in one single variable. That is why, and now it is storing 25 as well as 30. So have you understood what's the basic use of C?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So x is equals to 25, y is equals to c 25 comma 30. That's all. It's simple, very easy. Moving ahead. So this is how you can create variables in Python, R, and let's move on further. So dealing with the data operators. So we'll seeing package. Okay, we have saw that data operators. So we have arithmetic operators, relational operators, assignment and logical operators. So arithmetic are basically used for performing arithmetic additions, subtraction, multiplication, division and so on, many factors. Let's go and see how it works. So let me clear my console. Fine. So let's go and see the basic addition. It's nothing but 2 plus 3. Just go and hit and you will see. Let me clear this too. Okay. So 2 plus 3 is 5 and plus 2 is again 2 there, and you can also for the subtraction is 3 minus 1, we have 2, we have 2 multiplied by, let's go and create a variable first. Let's say a is equals to 2, b is equals to 4. Fine. So doing addition, you can say a plus b. Just go and hit the run, you'll see what. Okay, what it gave. Some problems there. I run it. A plus b is not found. Well, okay, let's do the console. Let's see, you can see a plus b is something, a minus b is 2, a multiplied by b is 8, and then we have some major factors, some different type of operands like a divide by b. These are 4 basic. So now we get some, let me say what is integer, what is float, once you may be confused. So we have taken 2 integers, that is a is equals to 2, b is equals to 4, right? So 2 and 4 are basically integers now. So with the 2 integers addition, we got an integer. With the 2 integers subtraction, we again got an integer. With multiplication, we got an integer. But when we get some decimal points, or you can say some decimal values, some point values, that are basically float in any programming language. That's all, right? So we have float here. So a divided by b comes a float. Instead of getting integers, we comes a float there. So this is called as a single division. When we do a single division, that is nothing but a normal division. You get a float value as compared to the integer. You can go and get the float value for both the float divided by float as well as the integer divided by float. So there you get a float value. So how to get the integer value then? So for getting the integer value, we'll get a percentile slash percentile divided by b. Now you get 0 there. Instead of 0.5, you get 0. So what it does, it basically divide the result into the whole number, right? Plus 0.5, this 0.5 is cut short in the only 0. zero point 0.5 has been removed. So this operand basically removes the point values. Before the number, before the point number, or the number before the point will be displayed, and after the point 1 will be cut shorted. That's all. Clear? Let's move to the another, and it's a percentile b. Now what it will do, it will give you the remainder there. Let's go and see what's the remainder. So if 2 is divided by 4, what comes the remainder there? 2, right? That's all. Let me go 2 to the power of 3, that is 8, right? 2 into 2 into 2 is something 8. So these are basically the arithmetic operations we see in normal, as you can say, it's very basic operations. These are the very basic operations. So adding two vectors, and what are vectors, we'll discuss what are vectors actually. Afterward we'll discuss what are vectors there. So you can write, let me clear my console, and I'm writing one vector 2 comma 5.5 comma 6 and t. So what is a vector? Basically, if you have read Python, it's nothing but a combination of numbers like a list. That's all. I didn't say it's a list, it's like a list. Or you can say compare it with it like a tuple. That's all. So I have v and I have t. Here you can see v and t. Now my basic need is to add both the vectors, or compare it with the Python language, add both the tuples, right? So v plus t, here we get 10.0, 8.5 and 10.0. So can you let me know why we got all the decimal values? Because the only reason is because in one of the tuple, or you can say is in one of the vector, the middle value, which is nothing but the second value, you can say in v, the second value is having 5.5, which is nothing but a float. And if any of the number comes as a float there, all the output or all the calculations part becomes in the float, or can be done in the float. That is why we get the float value. Moving ahead, so now let's go and subtract this. So v minus t will again get the float values. Let's go and multiply this, and we get some 16.0, 16.5, 22, 24.0. That's all. Right now, let's divide this. So you get some values or the float values. For seeing the remainder, what I said is every time you will be working with this. This will give you the remainder v slash dash t. Why not? It's, let me clear this one. It must be resized, guys. Let me see if it resizes. Anyone knows how to resize this? Actually, I haven't resized any time. It's once I have done this, but it's not it okay. Okay, guys, are you able to see everything, or I need to resize it? So I will see today how to resize this, and from tomorrow we'll be learning in the resized way. Okay. Any doubts there? No. Fine. Let's move on.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, can you repeat that step after V by T, that mod sign, that operator, that
Mod.
how it got 2.52?
Okay. Mod sign right. Fine. It's okay. I'll
Yes,
repeat.
sir.
Repeat. So say 4 divide by 2. What we'll get? That's 0. So is the 4 completely divided by 2? Yes. 4 is completely divided by 2. And when we divide 4 by 2, what we get the remainder? That is 0. Right? 2 divided by 2, sorry, 2 multiplied by 2, and then 4 by 4 0. So when you divide 4 by 2, you get the remainder as 0. So mod basically gives you the remainder. So when I go and divide 4 divide by 8, 8 will get 4. Why? You go and divide 4 by 8, you will see you are getting a remainder of 4. So mod sign will basically give you the remainder there, right? That's all. Any doubts for? Clear? Who asked the question? Adarsh. Okay.
Yes,
So Adarsh
yes, sir.
is clear.
Clear, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So 4 divide by 8, and we got the remainder there. Let's go and see the first vector with the second vector, but division with the quotient. So v slash mod and t. So you get 0, 1, 1 as remainders there, quotients there basically. That is the integer division. Yeah, there's nothing but this one, 0, 1, and 1. If you go and focus on these, this is basically the integer values of these one. That is simple. Yeah, and for power, you go and write 4. You get the powers. So these were all the uh, arithmetic operators. Let's deal with the assignment operators. So assignment operators are what now? So let me go to my, yep. So assignment operators are used to assign values and is stored in R. Right now we can assign by giving equals to sign, left operand, right operand equals to. You can go and create with the assignment. We have shown that how we can assign a variable. So these are the operators basically used to assign values in variables in R, and perform by equals to, left operand, right operand, and so on. So we have seen this is something x, and this is this. So let's go. Okay. So we'll get the relational, and we'll discuss some assignment operators too. Why not discuss this? Let's go and let me write. Suppose I am using right operand, simply I am writing x equals to 25, and I entered, I see I've stored some values there. And now if I write x is y is equals to 15, again I get a value there. Now if I write y 4, again replace the y value 15 from the 4 there. Now you can use the double less than sign there, but you can't use the double greater than sign. That's not a function there. So 40 by r, you get r as your 40. That's what how you use assignment operators. It's very simple. Let's move to the relational operators. Okay, So relational operators basically help us to perform relational operations, which are nothing but greater than, or you create a relation actually between the variables operators. You see that if the variable is equals to, or is greater than, less than, or is not equals to, is comparatively equals to, or greater than, and we have so many, you can see equals to, not equals to, greater than, less than, and so on. Let's go and see how it works. Okay. So we have B, we have T. Let me go copy this. Let me write for the B9. T as, let's take a more value, 9 there. Decrease the values. Okay, so these two 5.5, 6.9, it is something. Fine. So now what I will be doing, I will be comparing that if V is greater than T, if any of the V values is greater than T, it give me a result in true and false, which we basically call as relational operator here. And when we're learning the Python, we'll see that these are the Boolean operators there. Right. So let's go. Is V greater than T? Yeah. And one particular value, which is the second value, that only value is the value which is greater than the T. That is, you can see 2, 5.5, 6 and 9. So is 2 greater than 8? No, false. Is 5.5 greater than 2.5? Yes, it's true. 6 greater than 14? False. 9 greater than 9? Again false. That's all. So this is how you can check that. It will compare, basically it will check if the each element of the first vector is greater than the corresponding element of the second vector. Okay. Let's go and check for the reverse of it. There we get there. Okay, so 2.5 is less than 8. Yes, correct. 5.5 is less than 2.5, obviously false. So 6 is less than 14. Okay, 5 true. 9 is less than, it's false. Right? So it will check each element of the first vector is less than the corresponding element of the second vector. So now if I want to check if each element of the first vector is equals to the corresponding, now for the equals operator we'll be using V equals T. Always use, always remember that when you use double equals to, you are going to compare the values. When you are using single equals to, you are going to assign some values. That's all. So let's check this. Okay, we got all the false, and the last one, that is 9, 9 is equal there. Fine. So now let's go and check if each element of the first vector is less than or equals to the corresponding element of the second vector. So for doing so, what we will see that if any of the number is less than or equals to 2, we'll get the answers. Let me go and hit. Okay. So I can see 2 is less than 8 or 2 is equals to 8. In both the conditions, which condition is getting correct? 2 is less than 8. However, it's not equal to 8, but it is less than 8. So the answer comes true. Then 5.5 is less than or equals to 2.5? No, it's not. It's neither less than 2.5, it's neither equals to 2.5. So it's false, right? So it basically checking both the condition whether a number is equals to. If not equals to, then is it a less than? No. If not so, then it's false. And or if it's true, then fine. Moving ahead, same with the greater than equals to T. Well, again that this, right? And when I say that, okay, we have saw the equals to operator that we use it for comparing if the both values are equal or not. So can we compare that if both the values are not equal? We have used double equals for if the values are equal, for analyzing that if the values are equal. So how can we analyze that which of the values are not equal? So for not equal, you can go and write v not equals t. So I can see that three positions values are correct, that is true, 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 that the three are not equal and sorry, these are not equal and this is the only equal value there. That is all how how relational operator works on. Right. Moving ahead, moving to logical operators. So any queries in the relational operators? Let's move to the logical there. So logical operators compare two entities, and it's basically based on some typical type of Boolean or logical values like and, or, not. So we'll be using in 12th, I think if some you can be from a science background, I think so. So if you are from science background, you must have read these three diagrams, right? So A and B is basically combines each element of the vectors and give you a true if all the conditions are true. It will be easy to you to understand it from the diagram that what I actually mean to say. A comparatively or B, and these are the basically, let's go and practical, then we'll discuss the theory, because your IBM examination is totally based on the theory and some for the practical sessions, right? So let's go and create this. So moving with relational operators, let me go create R of C like true 3 1, a complex number 3 point. I will read everything in detail for the, let's today focus on the data points. P that is simple. All right, fine. So I've created P, I've created R. All right. So if I go and write for print me the V and T, if I go and write that print me the V as well as compare with and T, so what will I get the result? That is true, 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 true. What does that mean? It is called as element wise logical and operator. This basically, and what I have used is called as element wise logical and operator. It combines each element of the first vector with the corresponding element of the second vector and gives you an output true if both the statements are true and false if any of the condition is false. That's all, right? So it go and search for the true 3 1 2.3 and these values. Is it true or is it false? It's true, right? That's all. Now basically we'll get to understand it with the, you can say as uh, I can create with this. You can go and get the values from, let me say that x is 25 and y is 40. So x and y You get true because x is 25, y is 40. They are holding their own values, so it's true. So we'll get a statement there and we'll see how it works on. So let me take an example. You can probably understand it with, if I go and write with the statements of I go and write 2 and 3. So there's something in network error. Okay, power has been cut. Nice. Think it's connected. Fine, it's working or cut off. Guys, you can hear my voice or not? Hello? Am I audible, guys? Hello, hello. Yeah, it's rejoin. Okay, fine. Let's rejoin. Okay, rejoin now. Encountered. Come. It's there. Off. Switch it off. Join now. Hello guys, it's having a power cut in my home, so Wi-Fi has been lost. Let's reconnect. Entire screen. Anyhow, you can get the recordings there. So I was in this section. That was 2 and 3 gives you a value of true, and how it is. We'll discuss how we'll get this. Okay, fine. So comparatively, if I write this, or if I write go and write 2, or where is the or sign, 2 or 3, you'll get true. Why you are getting true and false values is nothing but these two values hold their own values that is correct for them. Now if you are aren't able, that's network issue. Once again. Am I audible to everyone, right? Hello? Hello guys. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. There has been some network issues. Okay, so this is basically how it works, and if I write not of true, so definitely I will be getting false. This not basically converts the true values in false and false values in true. This is simply how it works on. It's very simple there. Okay, let's move ahead. And we'll discuss with the variables we have discussed. Let's see with the data types. What are data types? Specific data types which type of value a variable has and what type of mathematical relations, right? We'll see all this, how it works on. So that's it. Let's go. So there are many data types in R. However, below are some frequencies: vectors, lists, matrices, arrays, factors, data frames, and so on. You can see there, right? Till now, any problems between the variables and the data operators? Any problem there, guys?
Excuse me, sir.
What?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Say.
Sir, that operator in which the decimal before the decimal value that value is printed, that operator is what that operator is called. That mod operator where we ignore the value after decimal and we take the value before
That is
decimal.
that is floor division. You can say it as floor division. It basically divides the value and gives you an integer value. That is floor division. You can say that's yeah. Any more confusions to anyone? Yep, no confusion. I think so. Let's move ahead. Okay, so we have understood what is R, why we are going to create R, and why we are learning R, different types of data operators we have seen, logical operators, you have saw the relational operators, and many more. So we learn the data types. Now we have data frames, factors, arrays, vectors, lists, matrices, everything, and we will be discussing this in brief. Now, what are these? Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you is nothing but the special operators I was talking about. Special operators, we have range operator and in operators. Now that is what, if I say that I am having f in a f, I am having numbers. What? Okay, I am having a numbers starting from 2 till 8. Okay, I have all the list of numbers from 2 to 8 in f. I have stored it in f. Simple. Then after enter, you can see that f is having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all, right? It is having all the numbers what I have written there. It's easy. So I have stored everything in f. Now, if I want to see, so this is basically an operator. What you have used is a range operator. This is called an operator, right? You have created what list of numbers just by giving a single colon. You can write g 1 to 10. Enter. You'll see g value, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. That's also very simple. Understood? So this is range operator. Then we have in operator. This operator is used basically to identify if an element belongs to a vector or not. Right? What are vectors? We will learning just after this. So what are vectors and how it works? So this will compare that if any, or it will give you a true or false value, that if any vector or any value belongs to a vector or not. So let me say that I have created f which is 2 to 8, and if I am checking that g, okay, g in f, sorry, g in f. So g is having a numbers from 1 to 10, and I am seeing that g in f is correct or not. So it gets false, false, false. This is first value false because it's starting from 1, and we don't have 1 in f, right? So it's false. Then followed by true, 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 and so on for the true values, and for the last values false and false, it's false. But if I check for the f in g, what will get, guys? All the true values or false values? Every value will be true, right? Because g is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and f is having 2 to 8 their numbers. So 2 to 8 numbers is also available in g, right there. So we're getting the f in g, all the true values. So have you understood what is in, what is this range, this and or equals to, until now whatever we have discussed? Any doubts till now? In any particular operator or anything you want to repeat me? Any queries? No, there. Others clear everything. Lakshmi and who's there more? Devayan. Okay, we have only 3 people here. Fine. So clear to everyone, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I got yes. Others, Lakshmi, clear, sir. Well, very good. Let's move ahead then. Okay. So let's move to the data operators, or you can say data types in R. So we do not need to declare any variable in R while using them. And Python will see that when you will having the class in Python evening, you will see that we will be defining some values, or you can will be defining some data types there. Fine. So we don't need to declare any variable before using them. Now we have data types vectors, which itself has 6 atomic data types. So what are those? We will discuss. Let's matrices, data frames, factors, arrays. So what is a vector basically? A vector is a sequence of data elements of the same basic type. Let me go to my PPT there. So vector is a sequence of data element of the same basic type. Right. Now what is this basic type? A basic type is nothing but the type of the variable what I am talking for. That could be an integer, that could be a float. You can say these are the values. That logical is having a true or false values, numeric is having 5,3, or you can say numeric is nothing but a number basically. That can be a float, that can be anything right there. Now integer is something 234. In for when I am writing integer, when I am saying that is an integer value, I will be writing it to L. That L basically denotes that it is an integer. If I'm simply writing 5, it's not an integer. In R you can say it's a number, it's a numeric type, it's not an integer type. If you're writing 5L, that is an integer type. But instead of writing 5L, you are writing R, or you can writing 5, that is a numeric character. If you write 3.14, that is a numeric character, a numeric data type right there. Complex, you have an imaginary part as well as a number, numeric part. That's a character. We see everything under between the under quotes, single quotes, double quotes, everything between the characters or quotes is basically a character. So we have discussed logical, numeric, integer, complex, as well as the characters. So we'll see how it works on. Let's go ahead and we'll see what a vector is. Basically a sequence of data elements of a same basic type. When I'm talking of same basic type, that means that if I'm creating a vector, everything should be, if I'm creating a numeric vector, everything should be a numeric. If I'm creating, I can't give a complex there, I can't input a character there, right? So let's go and create vectors. So now let me VTR is equals to 13579. That's it, simple. That is. Okay, fine. We got an error there. That was because we haven't used C. That's all. So VTR is having now 13579, and basically how many numbers? 1 to 5. That's all. That's 5 numbers basically. Let's go and we'll see VTR2. And now again I will write it 13579. Yes, enter, and you can see VTR2 is also having the same. That's all. So we have created using equals to, using left operand also. That is something a vector there, right? So in a vector also, I said actually you have characters which is under quotes, complex which is imaginary, and a numeric part. Logical you have true and false. Numeric is 5, 3, 1.2, 14.2, everything in a number. That's its integer. You describe L there. So how is integer different from numeric? If a question comes that how is integer different from numeric. Why we say that? We can see that okay, some of you may got an error that sir, this is 5, this is an integer, right, and this is 2l, this is basically 2, nothing but 2. So how is an integer different from a numeric? So let me tell you that numeric is a whole set actually, an integer is a subset of numeric in R. When we come and learn R na, so numeric is basically a whole set and integer there is a subset of numeric character, right? So common operations on vector is indexing, replacing, sorting, and it's very simple, pretty up there too. So let me go and create some vectors and we'll work on there. So let me go to my console. Why it's not soon? Okay, fine. So can I clear it? Everything if you want to note something, or can I clear this? Yes or no? Anyone? Okay, I'm clearing, guys. You can simply go and CTRL plus L, you will get cleared. That's all. So we'll create the vectors now. So we give VTR 1 3 5 7 9. Take it 11 45 65 43 23 45 67 89 and the error. Okay. It will be much clearer to you. Let's give some spaces. So I have BTR which I have having value somewhere. Fine. So let me take VTR 1, concatenating the values. We take hi, hello, hey. That again I'll give it an enter. VTR1, I'm having this one. That's it, very simple. So just go and print it, guys. VTR. What is a VTR? Enter. So your VTR is 133. These are the numbers there in VTR. What is your VTR1? This is hi, hey, hello. That's very simple. Now what I have said that we have special operations in a vector. So vector is having basically a single data type, right? Now let me create a vector of multiple data types. If I write so you can see now I have written a numeric character there 23, but when I come with the printing of the VTR2, I can see 23 has been converted into a string value, or you can say as a character value, and now my numeric data type has been changed to a character data type. That's why we don't use different data types in a vector. In case of list you can use, but in vector you have created string, 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 and it's very easy to convert any character in string. So 20, this R basically what it does, it basically creates this. Okay, so it will while executing it will see, okay, we have got a numeric type and we have a string type. So why not to create this also in a string and give the user the output. So it basically creates us this as a string there, and so on it works. Simple. Fine. Understood? Now, okay, let me say, give you another example. These are the core basics which should be cleared. 1, 3, 5, 4.5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. That's all simple. This is pretty simple. This is all. So now for vector 3, unexpected error somewhere. Where is the error? Oh, this is the V. So VTR3. Now you see every value is in float. That is nothing but every value is in numeric now. I gave actually integers too. So you will say, sir, everything you have gave a numeric and it comes as a numeric. Or how to convert the new integers and so on. So let me say, if I take vector 4 and for any value, if I write L, I am combining integer as well as the float values. So we go and hit enter. So VTR4. Again I see all the float values. So this is how it's easy again to create a integer into a float. It's also easy to create a float into an integer, but it's priority when we do, we always create integer into float. So R again creates all the values. It while executing it again saw that okay, we have got float values, we have got integer values, fine. So give user the all the output as the float. You can see we have stored correctly, right? We have stored 1, 2, 3, and there's all the values. While seeing the vector 4, you will see it's a numeric type. Vector 3, it's a numeric type. It's a character type. It's a character type. It's a numeric type. Fine. So this is all. Now instead of writing these, when I go and I write a character, I write a character there. Let me name it as a character. Let me name it as character, and I'm writing a hello. That's all. So if I go and I write for the character, you'll see this. And now you go and see your character is nothing but a character type. It will show you. Fine. Let's go and create a complex. So what is how complex? See. Okay. Let me write this as com. Mm. See, why isn't it working? Okay. 3 plus 2i comma 4 plus 2i parenthesis closed and this one closed. I think no problem there. Okay, fine. So we have com as complex, you can see. Now for the logical, you have seen logical is nothing but, okay, if I write logic, let me write it as logical. Logical of true, false, enter. You can see logical is having a logical type Okay, come now, come. Okay, 56 bytes, and it's numeric. In case of numeric, if I write something 53.3.7, everything. That's all. So once I do everything, I will check the data type of all these things, how we are doing. So at last, it's integer. So for integer, what I've said is 4L and 6L 97L. That's example of the integers. So we have created every characters or every data types we can see in R. So go and you to create everything there. So I can see character is nothing but characters, com is nothing but the complex, integer, logical, numeric. So how can we check now? If I want to check, how can I check? What is the command I have to write to check it for checking these? So we'll write how we to check the data type actually. How will we checking the data type? So we'll writing class. We will be writing class. So if I want to see the class of integer, what is this? It says it's an integer class. Says it's an integer class. So if I say okay, I want to see the class of, let's suppose I want to see VTR. What is this class? It says it's a numeric type basically. So here also we can see that it's a numeric type. Here we can see that it's a numeric type. Suppose I want to see class of logical. What is this? What is the class of logical type? It's a logical, right? Logical type, and so on. You can see the types of the characters, right? Now, if I say that you have operators, you have numeric. Now, if you want to create any numeric value into an integer, now how can we do that? Any numeric value into an integer. Now, let's suppose I'm having, let's say am I as or any numeric value we have. Okay, let's suppose I'm having I, that is 2.2, right? I want to store I in an integer value instead of the 2.2. I'll write I. Now I'll write as an integer, and now as an integer, what I have to store is 2.2. I mean to store 2.2 as an integer value in I. That is this. If I go and print I see it's 2, right? You want to see the class of it? It's integer. That's all. This is how you can very easily change the data type by using as dot any data type. That's whatever you want, right? So this is all. How you can create a characters, how you can create strings. Strings are basically that characters or floats or numeric type which we called, right? So this is all, and let's move ahead now to PPT. Okay, so we have seen what are vectors. So we'll see the list now. will see the type of the vectors, which is nothing but the list. So lists are basically the R object which contain elements of different types. Let's suppose I can say vectors was containing a particular single data type, right? They are a combination of all the single data types elements. Now in list we can take any elements, different type of elements right there. You can take numbers, list, as well anything there. Fine, we'll see how it works on. Let's come there to the R. So let me clear this. Go deal with the lists in R. Okay, so write that uh, list of fellows. Uh, 136. There we have a list data where we have characters, we have numeric, we have float, and let me take integer. There. Basically, we have vectors, okay, strings. Right? Okay. Let's go clear this and store this. What is the unexpected symbol there? There is an unexpected symbol. Okay. Again, there is an unexpected one. Let me remove this. Okay. This was an unexpected symbol. These are very minute actually. Okay, so we have list data and it's seized at list of 7. So what are those list of 7? It say you that it's a list of 7. In character 1, it's a red character, green character. It's a double. What is double now? What you'll see will double. Logical double. Double is nothing but you can see as a float there. You can see list of characters. You will see everything there. Right? It's very easy. Let's move on and view list of data. And we have actually seen, so it's already typed. So if I go and print the list underscore data, so what I've seen that in the first position it's red, Second position is having green. Third is this, fourth is this, followed by fifth, sixth, and then seventh. It's very easy there. Very easy. So list can be given names actually, and they can be accessed using the names. How? Let me give it how. So before going list, let me make a good category. So any confusions is in list, guys? No, if no confusions, then I will be going ahead with the arrays. Is there any confusions? Okay, let's first go and create.
Sir, I have a doubt in class.
Yeah, see.
Sir, when we get predefined what when we type comment class, we get predefined what like integer logical, but we also use the same name as the variable. So sir, in Python it shows error, but sir here
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
trans.
that's why it's different from Python, because here we do not need to declare any variable or data type. So it does not make any errors while you give any class name or a variable as a same keyword name. It doesn't make a error there. In Python it will make, because there are keywords which you can't name it as so integer. You can't name it as integer, float, complex. See, here you can name it, so it will not give you an error there. That is why the only reason we use or we compare the Python and R on some these basis actually. Here you can get the cheat sheets actually. You go and
Okay.
click for the cheat sheets. You will get the all the R Studio. That is what you need to do. These the factors. What are factors? What are cheat sheet uses Python? Don't go with Python. What are factors? How it goes on, right? How you can do with deep learning, and it's very simple. That's all. That's moving ahead. So let's go and create a different type of list, and this list will be having some matrix too. So we'll be discussing what is matrix, what are matrix. So list data, Jan, Feb, March. Now I'm basically creating a matrix. And now I'll deal with matrix tomorrow, and we will get to see what are matrix. Basically, I'll give you a description. Matrix are nothing but are objects in which elements are arranged into two-dimensional rectangular layout. Now, what are dimensions? Let me write this and I'll tell you. Dimensions are nothing, guys, but only a type of sheet you see in front of you. It can be 2D, it can be 3D, it can be multi-dimensions. That is, more than one dimension is nothing but multi-dimensions. It can be 4 dimensional, 5 dimension, any dimension. In Python, if you have read NumPy, you have seen that what are dimensions. Anyone who have read NumPy? Anyone there? NumPy, guys.
Sir, I have heard but never used.
Dimensions you have not used. You might have used, but you are not recalling it actually. What modules you have read in NumPy? See, January, February, March,
Sir,
matrix. Yeah, yeah. What are
sir, I
the?
never used numpy, but
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, what is this now? Argument is empty. Okay, fine. I'm filling it, guys. And row 2 list of green. It's very good to. Okay. So now list data is having something. You'll see character where we have January, February, March. We have a matrix too. And now if I go and give names basically. Now I will writing names to the list. First go and see your list data actually, otherwise you will get confused. So you have list data, that is nothing but January, February, March. You have matrix over there, you have green, and you have 12.3. What are these now? How you have generated these? So now we are dealing with this. So before moving to this, let me discuss you with the names, because we need to go and create names for these. So account, you will be wondering how this matrix has came. What is this? Is basically a two dimension. You can see this is a single dimension, single line, single dimension. Double lines, that doesn't mean double dimension, but double lines, instead of you having rows and columns, when you see a single row or a single column, that is a single dimension figure. And when you see rows and columns at a time, it's a double dimension, 3 dimension, 4 dimension, it can be any dimensions. When you see everything in one criteria. So give names to the elements. So name of list data, let me give them the names, which is first quarter, a matrix, the inner list. How many of you among you have enrolled for the Python also? Only one, or anyone else more? There's some error. Fine. So now we have names too, and now we get to find the list data. And now you can see it's a matrix, right? It's a matrix. It's the first quarter. It's a matrix, and it's a inner list. The inner list. These are the inner list. These are the matrix. I have named it actually. For see, we have actually how many elements there? We have 4 elements, and for 4 elements, how many keywords I have given? 3 keywords. That means this is the first one for first keyword, second one for second, and the third one for both these, right? So that's all. That's how we can create list. So now once we have created, now let's go and access the elements. How we can access? Now if I write list data and I write there 1, what I get is nothing but January, February, March, because in my list in the first value I am having January, February, March. If I go and write this and I write 1 of 1, I get again this, right guys? If I write 3, I get 12.3, which is this one, and this is how you get the values actually. This is very simple method of how you can go. And if you want to see any null value, if your list is having any null value, if your list is having any of the null values, what you will do? You will just decrypt it. So list data, fourth value, null values is nothing but empty values. So if I enter it, you can see there is no null value, so nothing get removed from there. That is it. Now if my list 4, what is my list 4? That is a null value actually. Fine. What is my list 3? Now see guys, in my list 3 I am having this, and let me go and write for 1. I'm having January, February and March in my list 1. Now what if I want to replace this and with some different anything what I want? So I will writing list 1 is replaced character, or you can say it's replaced element. So now when you go and search for a list 1, it will give you replaced element instead of January, February, and here also you will get a value where you can say now it is okay, this is not there, your list data is this one. Now you can see it's a replaced element there. Instead of, you can write also for the first quarter, you will get replaced element. Instead of writing one, if you write by writing their names, which is first quarter, you will get their replaced element. So this is how we do indexing in the list. Now if you have two lists, let me give, you have L1 which is equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6, and meanwhile you have L2 which is equals to Sunday, Monday, that's all. That's how. When you have L2 there. Very simple. Now what I want to do is, we have L1 and L2 now there. I want to merge this. I want to merge this in one particular list, in one list. What I'll do, I will merge this. For merging, I will write merged list is nothing but C of L1 comma L2. Nothing but I am concatenating L1 and L2. That's it. Simple. So go and get your merged list printed. You will see 1 2 3 4 5 as well as the Sunday and Monday there. That's all. Very easy, guys, right? Now you can go and create a list into a vector 2, which is nothing but the last step of what we're dealing with the list there. So converting a list into a vector. Basically a list can be converted into a vector so that the elements of the vector can be used for further manipulations. All the arithmetic operations on vectors, whatever you have used, can be applied on the first list or any of the list there, fine. So basically you have to convert a list into a vector, you have a function called as unlist. So we'll go with that. We have, let's take list 3 and we'll take a list of 1 to 5, and we have list 4 where I'll be taking list of 10 to 14, okay, it's no. So now convert these list 3 and list 4 into the vectors. What I'll do, I'll say this is my vector 1 or vector 1. Vector 1 is the unlist of list 1. Array, it's list 3, and vector 2 is the unlist of list 4. That's all. Now just go and print these. What is v1? This is v1. What is v2? This is v2. So basically I was having list 3. List 3 was having values of, you go and print for list 3, you will see your list 3 was having 1 2 3 4 5, which got converted into the vector 1 as 1 2 3 4 5 and this to vector 2 as this. Now if I go and add these vectors, result of v1 plus v2, So get 11, 30, 15, 17 and 19, so on. That's it. And if you go, let me combined list as C of list 3, list 4. You got C. In C you will see all these in a different ways. That is this and this. So any confusions in the list? Guys, any confusions till now? Because we have completed our list part. We'll continue with array tomorrow.
So after that, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, after that result part, what that CL you have written, that you can explain
CL
after
is
result part.
nothing. I've used a shortcut for combined list. Basically, I've instead of writing combined list, I have written CL, and in CL I've combined the list 3 and list 4. I've added all the lists in a one list, that is this one, CL. Like merge we have done, right? We have merged, so like that I have combined. That's combined list. Basically I'll be using shortcuts, right? So instead of writing combined list, that's a big term, I've used CL there. So any confusion still now? Let me save your record.